ever wondered which towns in Victoria, Australia you should absolutely avoid? Well, buckle up, mate. We're about to take a wild ride. Today we're diving into the top 10 towns in Victoria you'd probably be better off skipping. And I tell you, it's not just because of the dodgy weather. No, we're talking about places where you're more likely to encounter a switchblade than a friendly good day. We've considered factors like crime rates, education systems, and drug issues. So, if you're into stabbings, failing schools, and rampant narcotics, these might just be your dream destinations. But if you're like most folks and prefer a quiet, safe life, you do well to steer clear. It's a bit of a dark topic, I know, but someone's got to spill the beans. Ready for number 10? Settle in, we're just getting started. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Morwell. Not quite hell on earth, but it's making a commendable effort. Now, Morwell is a bit of a paradox. On one hand, it's a charming post-industrial town with a rich history. On the other, it's battling high unemployment rates, a struggling economy, and let's not forget the unfortunate air quality. Ah yes, the sweet aroma of coal in the morning thanks to the nearby coal mines. If you're a fan of the Dickensian era, you might find it nostalgic. But let's be real, the town is more like a living, breathing testament to the perils of economic decline. It's like a reality TV show, except the only prize at the end is a lungful of coal dust, and yet there's a certain charm to it. You know, the kind of charm you'd find in a haunted house or a dilapidated castle. If you're into the smell of coal in the morning, Morwell might be your paradise. For the rest of us, let's move on to number 9. Broadmeadows, coming in at number 9. It's not just the car theft capital of Victoria, but of the entire country. Now, don't get us wrong. It's not all grand auto theft and dodgy deals here. There are some redeeming qualities. For instance, the local schools. They're underfunded, sure, but they offer a unique learning experience, like how to spot a counterfeit note or how to hotwire a car. Now, if you're a young person looking for opportunities, you'll find plenty here. Like the opportunity to become a master in home security, or perhaps to start a career in the thriving field of private investigation. Broadmeadows is a town that's full of character, and characters, some of whom you might recognize from Australia's Most Wanted. So if you've ever wanted to live in a real-life version of Grand Theft Auto, Broadmeadows is your place. Otherwise, we suggest you steer clear. Dandenong, our number 8, where the only thing higher than the crime rate is the unemployment rate. Welcome to a town where dreams are replaced with a struggling economy, high crime rates, and a severe lack of amenities and services. Unemployment? Check. Crime? Check. Lack of basic services? Double check. In Dandenong, it's not unusual to find yourself in a queue, not for the latest iPhone, but at the local job center. Yes, the job market here is as dry as a dingo's dinner. And the crime rate, well, let's just say it's not exactly a selling point. And if you thought, well, at least there must be some services, you're in for a surprise. The lack of amenities and services is a glaring issue. It's like expecting a kangaroo to win a swimming race. Dandenong, the town where dreams go to die. But hey, at least it's not number 1. Let's keep going. Frankston North, number 7. A place where you'll need more than just sunscreen for protection. Welcome to a town where the pharmacy's most popular product isn't sunscreen or aspirin, but rather a wide variety of, let's say, recreational enhancers. Frankston North, a place so notorious for its drug issues that the local pigeons have developed a meth problem. And when it comes to crime, well, let's just say, even the local dogs have a rap sheet longer than your arm. From petty theft to full-blown stabbings, the town has more than its fair share of excitement. And public services? Well, in Frankston North, the term public services is a punchline. The local council's idea of public service is a biannual litter pickup. Oh, and let's not forget, you'll be lucky if the streetlights work. Frankston North, where the only thing scarier than the crime rate is the local wildlife. Let's see what's next on our list. St. Albans, our number 6, a place where the local pastime is trying to avoid being stabbed. Now you might think we're exaggerating for comedic effect, but the crime rates here are no laughing matter. This suburb is notorious for its high number of stabbings, making a walk in the park feel more like a scene from a horror movie. But the horror doesn't stop there. If you have kids and you're considering moving here, you might want to think twice. St. Albans is not exactly known for its top-tier education system. In fact, the lack of good schools here is almost as infamous as the crime rates. The combination of high crime and poor education makes St. Albans a place where dreams go to die. But hey, at least they're consistent. So if you're into knife-wielding maniacs and a subpar education system, St. Albans might be the place for you. St. Albans, where the local greeting is a knife to the ribs. Let's hope our top 5 are a bit less stabby. Braybrook, at number 5, a town where even the dogs are on drugs. Now, we're not saying that every canine in Braybrook is popping pills, but the town's drug problem is so pervasive, it's practically in the air. It's a place where you're more likely to find a syringe than a silver lining, and the high crime rates only add to this grim reality. A walk down the street is more of a survival game than a leisurely stroll, with the odds stacked against you. The town's lack of parks and recreational areas doesn't help either. In Braybrook, even the grass is greener on the other side. People often joke that the town's name should be Breakbrook, given the number of broken dreams and broken windows you'll find here. It's a place that's stuck in a vicious cycle of despair and decay, and it desperately needs a way out. Braybrook, where you'll need more than a good GPS to avoid trouble. Let's see what's next. Collingwood, our number 4, a town that makes the Collingwood Football Club look good in comparison. This place has a knack for keeping Victoria's finest, the police that is, on their toes. With crime rates that would make a hardened criminal blush, it's no wonder that the local police station is the busiest building in town. And if you thought the crime was bad, wait till you hear about the drug issues. Collingwood streets are an unfortunate playground for substance misuse, a sad reality that's hard to ignore. It's like the town's unofficial motto is "Say yes to drugs," moving on to education, or the lack thereof. The schools here are about as impressive as a dry dam in the desert. The situation is so dire that even the pigeons have started homeschooling their chicks. Collingwood, where the only thing scarier than the crime rate is the footy team's performance. Let's move on to our top 3. Sunshine, our number 3, a place where the name is the only bright thing about it. Now, isn't that a cheeky paradox? Sunshine, ironically, isn't quite the sunny haven its name might suggest. Instead, it's a town where shadows often eclipse the light. Consider the crime rates, for instance. They're higher than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Crimes in Sunshine are as common as Vegemite on toast. But don't worry, it's not all burglaries and car thefts. There's a fair share of assaults and robberies thrown into the mix too. Then there's the economy, or should we say, the lack thereof. It's struggling more than a koala trying to swim. Businesses find it hard to thrive, and job opportunities are as scarce as water in the outback. And let's not forget the schools. Quality education in Sunshine, that's as likely as finding a dingo that barks "Waltzing Matilda." Sunshine, a town that's anything but. Let's see what's next. Footscray, our runner-up, a town where you're more likely to get mugged than find a good cup of coffee. Now, we're not saying Footscray is a war zone, but the crime rates do make you wonder if you've walked into a live-action video game. From petty theft to full-blown assault, the town's got a knack for making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And if the crime wasn't enough to put you off, the rampant drug problem surely will. It's a tragic cocktail of addiction and desperation that's far from the charming image of Down Under. The lack of public services doesn't help either. It's like the authorities decided to play a game of hide and seek with the locals, except they forgot to tell them when the game began. Footscray, where the only thing more abundant than the crime is the smell of fish sauce. Let's move on to our number 1. And finally, our number 1, Werribee, a town where even the local wildlife is trying to escape. Ah, Werribee, a classic example of a town that's seen better days. You see, Werribee's most notable feature isn't its architecture or its historical landmarks. No, it's the crime rates. They're as high as the kangaroos can jump. The economy, well, let's just say it's been wrestling with the dingo of recession, and it's not winning. Shops closing, businesses failing. It's a struggle to find a silver lining in this cloud. And the schools? Well, it seems that they're more interested in teaching the art of survival rather than the 3 R's. The education system is as parched as the outback during a heat wave, leaving the young ones thirsting for knowledge. Werribee, the worst town in Victoria. But hey, at least they have a zoo. Maybe that's where all the residents are trying to escape to.